Hello there, fellow summoners. Mad Dog HT here. We got week 3 Summer of Pain that has opened up, and we got 3 objectives to accomplish. 2 that are Thronebreaker, which is defeating this blade with an Avenger, and then a Mercenary. So I'm going to go in with the Mercenary. You see I picked Masacre, and this blade is quite annoying. He's got Surge Protector. Every time you hit him, he's going to get a bunch of power gain charges, and that if you don't throw a special, he'll not consume as much power to throw those specials. All of his specials are fully unblockable. Every hit of it's unblockable. So really want to stick to L1 unless you have his L2 dex down, which I know it can be done. I've done it a few times, but just not reliably. Then it's got destructive feedback, where you see that orange timer with the shield. Basically all damage done while that shield is up is stored, and then he'll take a big burst damage when it releases. But any damage that you do to him while it's up, and if he touches you, either with a hit or or you parry, block something, all that will get reflected back to you. So you really got to watch out for that. Then Plague Mine. So Plague Mine, every 20 seconds you're getting power drain, so it is really difficult for most champs to get off any special attacks, just because you're baiting so many specials with those power gains from the Surge Protector that he has. It is difficult. So you can see here, I throw it off. I had 5 of those power gain charges on him, and it did 3,700 damage from that special attack. But yeah, and then it's got Power Lapse. Power Lapse doesn't come into play in this matchup because I don't have anybody that Masacre doesn't do any type of power drain, burn stuff. But here, my whole goal here is to hit into the block a lot and get the bat lit. So once the bat is lit, I get the incinerates when I actually land hits on blade. But if I hit into the block, I do get power gain. And so it does allow me to get off special attacks more easily because I have that alternative method to gaining power rather than just hitting him. So, you know, this is kind of a slow fight. It's a different kind of fight using Masacre. Other options, I'm pretty sure Domino could just do Domino things on this guy as a mercenary. Black Widow Deadly Origin and regular Black Widow could work. Black Widow Deadly Origin probably one of the better options with all the shock damage that she can do. I don't have her as a 6-star, and I don't have her ranked up. I think she's only like a rank 2 5-star, so that's just not going to happen. And so since I brought Masacre up to rank 3 as a Defiance attacker for this season, gave him a try. This is my 4th attempt. I'll showcase at the end a little blooper reel of my failures going in. But you know, once you get him down to the 70% mark, that's where it gets a little bit more interesting because he can hold block and regen. And you know, if your attacker is not dishing out good amounts of damage, it is hard to combat the regen from him using his power to heal him, Blade's power, to kind of get past that. But Massacre can do it. I'm sure there's plenty of champs that can do it. Yeah, I felt like this run was really good. I think I get him down to like 15%. I don't get the solo. Definitely I could get the solo, but you know, right now I got a lot of things going on. I'm trying to grind a bunch of arena for the second round of the Sigil Witch, so I can get the 30-day pass again, because as a free-to-play guy, that's a huge benefit to have that Sigil pass. So I'm gonna be doing that. So I really can't be bothered with putting too much time into getting solos. And you know, whether you solo, I think this is the most important thing to remember. Whether you solo or whether you use a revive or 2 or 10 or whatever, you get the same rewards as everybody else. So just keep that in mind. It is fun to get the solo and then show that off and whatever, but yeah, I put in a good run. I thought I was going to get the solo on this run, but we do miss it. And if you get tagged by the special ones, those bleeds, they'll kill you. I got tagged a couple times. I think that's actually how I died. On the attempts before this, I just missed the dex on the special one. It's a lot of dexing. A lot of dexing in this fight, whether you're dexing the special ones or just kind of dancing around. But yeah, you can see that we're under 70%, so he's going to heal. But if we get some incinerates and the disorient and some bleeds off from a special one, you know, we can reduce the healing that he's going to get from hitting into the block and draining his power because of the Despair Mastery. If you don't run that, you know, that's going to become irrelevant, but it does really help to reduce, because it's like a 1200 heal per second, per tick when you're hitting into the block. And you can see I'm only dishing out like 300, 400 damage per hit. But then once I get the bat lit, that's where the damage really comes in. You get the power gain when hitting into the block. You got a bunch of incinerates, a bunch of bleeds, disorient on him. And yeah, as long as he plays nice, and generally in this fight, I thought, you know, it went fine. You know, with Massacre, with just his ability that you want to hit into the block, it did really help me to where I didn't ever get cornered, and I didn't have to worry about, you know, his power and getting destructive feedback and tapped. You know, there was one time just shortly before this, I was dashing back and I accidentally parried, and that was with destructive feedback up, and I took some damage. But yeah, it's fine. You can do that a couple times unless you've done some really solid damage when the destructive feedback is up. Here I throw a special 1, pretty close to pushing him to special 2. But yeah, we're getting some solid damage, and we're just going to try to keep that bat lit. Hit this guy as many times as possible. Keep that bat lit, because once that bat lit, that's where Massacre really shines. And you can see, yeah, we get a parry off there. And if you get parried, so there I got parried just straight up, but sometimes if you go and hit into the block, I didn't have this, but I was talking to some of my buddies that were on a Alliance call, chatting about who's working and stuff, and they got parried a few times from like just hitting into the block. I don't know if they were hitting kind of slow, and then Blade was able to parry them, or I've heard that with the update recently, when you hit into the block, sometimes you get parried. If that's happening to you guys, it's never happened to me yet, but definitely can happen. But the bleed on that is pretty short. You can probably do that a couple times and not die from it, if you're not bleed immune. But yeah, we're getting pretty close. Gotta be really patient. The flow of this fight is pretty different than most fights, at least with using Massacre. And yeah, you know, when that destructive feedback is down, definitely can parry to get some openings. If he has high power, you gotta watch out that the parry stun doesn't get shrugged off too quickly, because otherwise you're gonna get wrecked. So parry when he's at low power. And yeah, I was like, ooh, I'm doing well. I thought I was gonna get him down, and I'm trying to remember how I died. I think, yeah, I took a combo there. I'm like, no, thought I was gonna die there. Luckily, he cut his combo short. Yeah, the power drain is brutal. If there wasn't power drain on this fight would be a lot simpler to do. But trying to get to a bar of power with all the power gain that he gets, it can be quite difficult. I think we're gonna die here shortly. Yeah, we're right around that assassin's range. Destructive feedback is down. And I just missed a dex. Getting back. So when I did that, and I had done a couple of the rounds, I was like, you know what? That's a good enough attempt for me. I actually have like 4 or 5 revives expiring today, so I'm like, okay, I'm gonna put in revive. I'm gonna go put some health potions in this, and we'll finish it off. Shouldn't be too bad. And basically same thing. Hit into the block, get the damage while you can. Make sure you don't block after you've done a decent amount of damage when destructive feedback is up. You can parry at the beginning and not take any destructive feedback and get a combo in and whatnot, but then after that you want to make sure that you don't get touched until that expires. There, I'm taking a bunch of hits into the block. So here we go. We're gonna throw off a special one, get a nice chunk of burst damage from those power gain passives expiring, and I think we're gonna bait a special, and then I think this is the funniest thing. So I get him down to 1%, 3%, 4%, and I think I'm gonna get the kill. I think it's right here. No, right here. I throw off the special one, and I thought that was going to kill him, but the destructive feedback came up and prevented the damage, and then I pushed him to special 2, and then I just ate it. So 1%, I think it's like 3,000 health or something stupid. Yeah, 3,318. I was like, oh, that was unfortunate. I thought I was going to get him down. I was a little bit too impatient there. Should have just held back. But I just pop a 20% revive, and we finish him off. So it's a 3-shot. Definitely can one-shot this guy. I don't know if maybe this weekend I'll try again, but likely probably not. So there we get him down. We do complete the mercenary objective. That's for Thronebreakers, and then I'll show the 3 attempts before that. I mean, it's basically the same thing, but a little blooper reel. I didn't, it took me a couple attempts, and it's just a lot of dexing. I get tagged, I think, 2 out of the 3 times here. Yeah, just special 1. Didn't hit it, and then the bleeds. They're just too potent. I don't run Coagulate. Maybe if you run Coagulate, if you got hit by special 1, you could survive it, but I'm not going to change my masteries for this. And then I think here's another, early dex, and both those are all on me. It's not like I'm not going to blame that on inputs or anything like that. And then again, the bleeds, it's just they're too potent. And then one last one here. So hopefully this helps. If you have Masacre, definitely give him a shot. You can definitely do the work. And thanks, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.